When Elias bought the old house, the seller mentioned the bell only once. "It rings when the basement floods," she said, avoiding his eyes. "Old system. Don't worry about it." The house stood alone at the end of a narrow road, its windows black even at noon. Elias liked the silence. After years in the city, silence felt expensive. On the third night, the bell rang. Not loudly, not like an alarm. A soft, polite chime came from beneath the kitchen floor. Elias woke with his heart hammering. Rain tapped at the windows, but the storm was mild. He took a flashlight and opened the basement door. The stairs descended into cold air. At the bottom, everything was dry. No water, no leak, no sound. He found the bell fixed to a beam above the old stone floor. A thin wire ran down into a narrow crack between two slabs. Elias pulled the wire. Nothing. He laughed at himself, went upstairs, and locked the basement door. The next night, the bell rang again. This time it rang twice. Chime, pause. Chime. Elias stood in the kitchen, staring at the floorboards. The sound came from below, gentle and patient. He did not go down. In the morning, he called an electrician. The man inspected the basement, the bell, the wire, the crack. "No current," he said. "No battery. This thing shouldn't ring." He cut the wire. That night, the bell rang 3 times. Elias did not sleep after that. By dawn, he had dragged the kitchen table over the basement door and stacked chairs on top of it. At noon, he drove to town and bought a crowbar, a hammer, and a bottle of whiskey. At sunset, he went down into the basement. The cut wire still hung from the bell. Below it, the crack between the stone slabs looked wider than before. Elias knelt and pushed the crowbar into the gap. The stone shifted easily, as if it had been waiting. Underneath was not soil. There was a wooden trap door. It had no handle, only a small brass bell fixed to its surface. Elias stared at it. Then, from beneath the trapdoor, something knocked. Once, twice, 3 times. A pause, then a 4th knock. Elias backed away. The basement bell answered with a single chime. The trap door opened inward. A smell rose out of the darkness. Wet earth, old clothes, and something sweetly rotten. His flashlight flickered. From the hole came a whisper. Finally. Elias ran upstairs, slammed the basement door, and pushed the table against it. He stood in the kitchen, shaking, listening. For a long time, there was nothing. Then the basement doorbell rang. Not below him, behind him. A small brass bell now hung beside the kitchen door, fixed to the wall where there had been nothing before. It chimed once. The lock turned by itself, and from the other side of the door, something whispered in his own voice, "I bought the house, too."